Elon Musk was on his usual BS throughout the weekend, doing just a whole lot of ridiculous stuff. Some of it just sort of sad and pathetic, like when he was super happy that he had Twitter strip away the ability to tell what device a tweet had come from. He said hallelujah. And everyone seems to think it's because he had been a couple weeks ago going off on how Apple sucked, and every single one of those tweets was tagged with from his iPhone. Other than that, there's no reason, like I'm not saying it should or should not say what device it comes from, but I don't understand the excitement other than that he got owned. Anyway, some of it more substantive, like for instance, he banned and then had to quickly unban Taylor Lorenz of the Washington Post because she doxed someone even though she didn't. And even the thing that he was claiming was doxing was from months and months ago, before his new policy, before he was even the owner. And that wasn't the real reason anyway. She reached out to him for comment on this story, which is now available, where she looked into this stalker that we had this incident a few days ago. It apparently had nothing to do with the Elon jet. She reached out for word from him and was almost instantaneously banned. He came up with this pretext of doxing. So this is who he is. Again, a guy who despises transparency, despises speech, never forget it. But that wasn't really the most embarrassing thing. I think this probably qualifies. They changed their policy on people being able to literally acknowledge the existence of other social media platforms, saying that you will now be prohibited from linking to your accounts on Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, Truth Social, Tribble, Post, and Nostr, as well as things like Linktree, which is just it's like a social media aggregation platform. You'll notice instantly that some stuff is not on there. So some of it seems fine, like they're not banning Reddit or whatever, but you'll notice they're not banning Substack. They're not banning Rumble. They're not banning the ones that a lot of right wingers like to use and that theoretically he makes money from. That you can still do. TikTok, I guess, would instantly cause a problem with the libs of TikTok, who were violating that policy in other ways. They had a link tree in their biography as well. And no OnlyFans either. I think the 5 minutes a day that he doesn't spend on Twitter is probably spent on there. And so he has a soft spot in his heart for it. But anyway, he argued that this made sense, this policy change, because Twitter should be easy to use, but no more relentless free advertising of competitors. No traditional publisher allows this, and neither will Twitter. In my experience, New York Times does not deny that the Washington Post exists, actually. And they sometimes will talk about things brokered by the Washington Post. I don't even know what point he's trying to make there, but it is embarrassing. Because as even he acknowledged back in June before buying Twitter, the acid test for any two competing socioeconomic systems is which side needs to build a wall to keep people from escaping. That's the bad one.
God.
Well, he tried to make this wall because even though he keeps saying that Twitter's bigger than ever, apparently he doesn't want people knowing that Post or Mastodon exist. They're tiny, they're flies, but they're so flyish that they need to be banned from being acknowledged. You know, just normal free speech stuff, Francesca.
What a business leader, what an entrepreneur. He is utterly disrupting the tech and business world. The guy's not smart. When are we gonna understand he's not smart? He doesn't make good investments, and he surely does not know how to run a business. He doesn't know how to make this better. Let me put it into a different context for you. Imagine you buy Macy's. You guys remember Macy's? It's there. It's still sad. It gets sadder and sadder every single year, but you go there because they've got some cheap jeans and you need a last minute gift. That's what Macy's is for. Imagine buying Macy's for $1 kajillion and then being like, ooh, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna change the red star to a purple star. Boom. And you're like, this solves nothing. And actually Macy's was kind of doing okay on its own. That's exactly what Elon Musk is doing. The idea that it's like, oh, it took away that we tweeted this from my Android. Like, slow clap. Oh my God, who cares? Yeah. But the real thing is the doxing. And again, this is what the right, and Elon is part of the right. He is another troll king like Trump. This is what the right loves to do. Doxing has traditionally been used against who? LGBTQ plus people, right? Swatting of, trans Twitch streamers, outing black officials, elected officials, women of color, like whomever it is, it's always those who are marginalized in real life as well. But then the right takes that word and they're like, ooh, I like this because it feels like aggrievement politics. And I don't really know what that means because I don't understand structural racism or power. And I have all the power. This is what it feels like to be disempowered. Ooh, I'm gonna use that word and apply it to me. And Taylor Lorenz, good on her for doing that research to be like, okay, he's claiming there's a connection between his stalker and the flights, right?
The flights. Because Elon Jet said that his jet was in this city. So obviously, if anyone interacts with him in that city, it's because they knew the jet. It was where he lives. Like,
right.
It's not like they randomly followed him in Sheboygan. It was a major city. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make literally any sense.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.